turn it up?
Mm-hmm.
Which means...
It was at 72 and I put it at 74.
So you're turning the temperature up.
Yeah.
But actually, the work that the air conditioning is doing is less.
Yes.
Because it's not going to need to continue cooling, or it won't need to cool. So it's doing less work. So when you say I'm turning it up...
I'm referring to temperature.
Right. Not the velocity of the air conditioner.
Right. Temperature.
Turbines up there or down there or everywhere.
Wherever. It's all around us, man.
Okay. So you turned it up.
I turned it up. We're getting turned up.
You turned it up, which means the temperature is gonna...
I turned it up. I increased the temperature by 2 degrees.
Okay. So you turned down the volume of the air conditioner work.
But nobody talks like that when they're speaking about their air conditioning. You're correct. Yes, that's a true statement.
Okay. It's very confusing.
What? Just think temperature. Temperature.
Okay, but why would you... Okay. Temperature. You turn up the temperature, meaning you're turning down the air conditioner's workload.
Yes.
Okay. But see, when the thermostat is controlling, well, both. But I think it's directly hooked. Well, it is directly hooked up to the air conditioner, so you're controlling the workload, which then controls the temperature. So I think when you say I'm turning it up, you're turning up the air conditioner, meaning it's going to be cooler.
Do you know what I think?
What?
I think you're overthinking this.
Well, I just find it confusing. You turned it up.
I turned up the temperature.
Okay. Well, can you be specific? Like say, I turned up the temperature.
So you want me to say extra words?
Yeah. Because it will avoid this conversation.
Okay, honey.
Lennox Albert.
Lennox has emerged.
Hey, Len. If you wanted to make the temperature cooler in our home, and you go over there, and you wanted me to go to the thermostat and press whatever buttons, what would you say?
I'd say, may you please go turn down the temperature?
Turn down the temperature. Yep.
I never liked that kid. How dare you? Okay. Turn down the temperature. But see, he clarified it. He said turn down. He didn't say turn it down.
He also said, may you please.
Turn down for what? Wow. If you want it, the boy never says please, okay?
And oop.
Turn down the temperature. Turn down for what? Dee, 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 dee. Okay. Welcome back to But I'm Still a Good Person by Vince Nicholas. I'm Vince Nicholas. I'm joined by my sparkling wifey, Carolyn Nicholas.
Hello.
Hello, honey. Thank you for joining me at the dining room table for our little program here. So today we ate Little Caesars, not little.
Did it used to be Lil?
No.
Oh.
It was Lil Kim. And if you pronounce little with D's, that's like pronouncing Peyton. Okay, there's T's there. We live in a society with rules. It's Little Caesars. It's not bottle. It's bottle.
Bottle.
Right. We ate at Little Caesars because they have a new product, and it's the pepperoni and cheese stuffed crust pizza. And then we also got a pepperoni cheeser. After each cheeser is an exclamation point. Cheeser. Like they got the Italian Nero, what is he? A Greek god or something? Zeus? Is that the Italian Zeus?
Oh, he's Caesar.
What's
Caesar?
Pizza. Yeah, Italian. Rome. Rome is burning. So we got 2 pizzas today.
And oop.
Okay. The last time we ate Little Caesars, we got the pretzel crust.
Oh, yeah.
We were not fans of that. So much salt.
Yeah, it was very salty.
Super salty. And the pretzel crust was a pretzel on the outside and then just almost just barely dough, barely not pretzel, barely pizza dough on the inside. Not enjoyable experience. So we got 2 pizzas, and they don't come in small, medium. They're just larges. The pepperoni cheeser, and pepperoni and cheese stuffed crust. I didn't get ranch because I'm saving calories here.
We're being healthy with our 2 large pizzas.
Liz and Alan Fisher are coming home in 2.5 weeks. Never mind that after I ate nearly both pizzas, I ate licorice and Ritz crackers and ice cream because Luna Marie ate ice cream and I wanted to eat ice cream. Anyways, I've had about 4,000 calories a day, but I'm still a good person, honey. Okay, so I ordered through the app, like I was saying. Use the app. It was ready right on time. Like literally, we were at your friend's Victoria's today for a little. Her daughter graduated, a little shindig there, pool thing, and so I put in the order when we were leaving Rosemont, which is 15-20 minutes away, and it said your pizza will be ready at 3:17. It gave a little window, like 3:17 to 3:22. Okay. And again, I appreciate that. So I know what we're getting into. Is it going to be a half hour? Is it going to be 6 hours?
Very specific.
Yes. And literally, because we got off the freeway at like 3:15ish. I was like, we need to burn some time. Because I don't know if it's going to be 3:17 or 3:22 or... I mean, things mess up. It could be 3:25. So we drove around. We looked at the West Sacramento Library.
Yeah, I drove...
The outside of it.
The library is a stone's throw from the Little Caesars. So I just drove us through the parking lot and I said, this is our local library, kids.
It's just down the street on Merkley. Little Caesars is technically on Jefferson, but it's on Jefferson and Merkley. And it's near the Peace Cuisine and a Walgreens.
Walgreens,
okay, Walgreens is in there. And it was right at 3:17, like literally right at 3:17, popped up, pizza's ready to go. I was like, this is
perfect timing.
Fantastic service. So I walk in, we do the pizza portal, and for people who don't know, the pizza portal is like, it's about my height. It's 6 feet. It's from the ground up to 6 feet-ish, and just a bunch of little compartments where they throw your pizza in there. So you can just walk up, and they give you a code, a 3-digit code, or you can they give you a QR code you can scan under the little red light they got there. That's what I did today. And scan your code or type in your code, and your window on one of these, there's probably 8-10 total little compartments, will pop up, and you stick your hand in there, you grab your pizzas, and you're good to go. You don't have to talk to anyone. No one talks to you. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's the future, man. One thing I didn't like was now this was like 3:17. There wasn't a lot going on. Like I said, the compartments, they start at your feet and they go up to 6 feet-ish. They put our pizza at the very bottom, the first compartment. Now, I'm a 43-year-old man. I'll be 44. I don't know if you know, but I lift, honey.
Yeah.
I'm very muscular. Mm-hmm. But I'm not very flexible. I don't stretch because I'm not a woman. But so I had to bend over, like bend all the way over. You lift with your knees, not with your back, honey. So I had to bend all the way over and strain myself to get our pizzas from almost the floor. It was kind of odd. Like, well, this is very close to the floor.
And all the other compartments were empty?
Yes. There wasn't anything going on. Like, help us out, C's.
They were having a laugh.
Nero is burning. Rome is burning. Nero. So I didn't like that. And there was like I was saying, use the app, people. Use the website. You don't have to talk to anyone. Your order is perfect because it's just a little digital readout. You don't have to be like, can I get a pepperoni with extra olives? But there was a gentleman in there ordering in person.
Loser.
Via words and dialect and language. Can I get a sausage deep dish with it? And I was just like, you animal. Why are you doing this to yourself, sir? Well, I feel bad for them sometimes. I'm like, I can help you. We can help you. Me and Nero and Napoleon Bonaparte. That was his last name, right?
Yeah.
We can help you, sir. We can help make your life easier.
You can.
Right.
That man needs a husband like you. Because you know darn well.
Yeah.
If I didn't have you, you know I wouldn't be doing this app stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know I'd be going in old school.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't do anything technologically advanced if it weren't for you in my life.
You'd be calling them up.
I wouldn't have Wi-Fi still, I'm sure.
Right. You'd be calling them up on the telephone. And then, and I've worked McDonald's. We hate our jobs. The McDonald's, all fast food workers, all restaurant workers hate their jobs. They hate you. They hate you as the customers. It's not a pleasant experience. So I see this guy ordering, and the Little Caesars employees said, "Oh, it'll be about 10 to 15 minutes." I go, "Oh, sir." So I feel bad, like I'm sympathetic, but then there's another part of me that wants to go, "These are waiting in line, ordering. What is this? A Stone Age? You're so anachronistic, man. Get with the future, man." All right. So anyways, that was the experience at the Little Caesars, ambiance and all. So we live like 5 minutes away. So we came right home after we picked them up. And we just threw them on the dining room table. We didn't get anything for the darling children, our Wow Chows. Yeah. Sometimes you need to cater to them. But other times, I'm just like, I'm already spending $17 on pizza.
Yeah, with pizza, it's hit or miss if they're in the mood to eat it or not. Yeah. So today we're like, we'll just get 2. If they want some, fine. If not, we'll just eat it.
And Luna had some pizza at Victoria's.
She did right before we came home. So
we have 2 large pizzas, and they didn't eat anything either.
They didn't eat anything. We have 3 slices still left here.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'll get to those.
Okay.
So we come right home. Like I said, we live less than 5 minutes away. Throw them down on the dining room table. We grab some paper plates because we're classy folk, and we start eating. And you said right away, eating it right away is super important.
Yeah,
it matters.
It is key to your pleasantness. The pleasantness of the
experience. Word? Pleasant. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Edit this.
It's key to joy. No.
Your enjoyment of Little Caesars.
Yes.
It depends a lot on do you eat it right away or do you let it sit for 10 minutes? You gotta eat it right away.
Excellent point. Like literally each second that ticks by on the clock, your joy, your contentment, your satisfaction with Little Caesars goes down dramatically. So get to it. Don't dilly-dally around.
Don't pee. Don't change your pants.
Right.
Don't just sit down and immediately start eating.
Right. Don't empty out your kitty litter box. Don't pay your mortgage. Don't pay your Wi-Fi bill. Sit down, start eating. Okay, so let's start with the pepperoni cheeser. I'm sorry, cheeser, because they both have exclamation points. It's described as a large pepperoni pizza with fresh mozzarella, sweet basil, and toasted Asiago Parmesan crust. It costs $7. It's 2,400 calories in the pizza. 2,400 divided by 8 means 300 calories per slice.
And
Okay, so 300 calories per slice. Honey, the pepperoni cheeser. Thoughts, comments, feelings, reflections. What was your reaction? What did you think?
When I looked at it, I said, "Ooh, this looks very artisan."
Yeah.
It looks fancy. It's got flecks of herbs and...
Yeah, that's the sweet
seasoning.
Basil. Or sweet basil. And then it has significant size slices of fresh mozzarella. So it's got the toasted Asiago Parmesan crust. So it does. It's different.
Yeah,
it looks different.
I was really excited to taste this based on the extra mozzarella and the Asiago, but I didn't notice them.
Yeah.
It just tasted like a pepperoni pizza.
Right.
I didn't notice these extra special things that they added. So I was kind of disappointed and underwhelmed.
Yeah, completely agree.
And
wholeheartedly, absolutely agree. The crust was very just subpar, dry, not fluffy. Whereas the other pizza, the stuffed crust, we'll get to, excellent crust. But the cheeser crust, hard and just difficult to chew.
Agree.
Just bad texture, not a good do. Next thought, there's too much sauce, too much pizza sauce. And you like pizza sauce.
I love when there's a lot of sauce.
I don't. Uh, and for a while in my life, back when I was a young man, for whatever reason, I was ordering all my pies easy on the sauce. I don't think the Domino's guys cared or did or
They were
adjusted.
like, sure.
Sure, pal.
You got it.
I got your easy sauce right here. But there's too much sauce. But I actually think that helps with the terrible crust because it gives something going on. There's a little bit of moisture. So there's too much sauce, but I'm not mad at it because it does help with that terrible crust. The cheese, the mozzarella, the big thick mozzarella slices. Okay, it's there. But there's very little difference just from the regular cheese, which is also on the pie. Sweet basil, sure, there's lots of green flecks.
I could see it. I couldn't really taste it.
Right. I think you buy like a can of dry sweet basil, a can of it for $1 at the Dollar Tree, and then you just shake it on whatever, and there's basil on it, allegedly, but dry basil, old dry basil.
Yeah, does that really even have much flavor or
right? Exactly.
aroma or anything going on?
Maybe it's just for eyes. You eat with your eyes first for aesthetics. And then the Asiago Parmesan crust. It reminded me of the Subway bread with the cheese. Like there's cheese visually on there. You're like, okay, there's shredded cheese on. There was shredded cheese. A couple of flecks of shredded cheese on this piece of bread at one time, but as far as tasting it or making a difference, not just like the Subway bread. You're always like, oh, I get the one with cheese. Then you eat it and you're like, okay, I guess there's some cheese on here. There was someone sprinkled cheese on it at some point, but it's very disappointing. But yeah, just a horrible pizza. I mean, I don't. What would you give it, honey? 1 to 10.
3.5.
Yeah, I would give it a 3. Not good. Let's move on to the pepperoni and cheese stuffed crust. Now this is described. They use the extra most bestest, which is their line of where they throw a lot of toppings on there. So if you get the extra most bestest pepperoni, they throw Helka pepperoni on there. So it's like it's their regular pizza, just a little less crappy because they throw more toppings on there. So pepperoni and cheese stuffed crust pizza is described as a large, extra most bestest pepperoni pizza with pepperoni and cheese stuffed in a Parmesan and butter flavored crust. Now, the key is the stuffed crust, where they put not only cheese in there, they throw pepperoni in there, and then they pour some Parmesan on there, and I guess they paint butter on it, or they brush butter on it, or there's butter somewhere on the crust. It costs $10. It's calories 3. Are you sitting down, honey? This is a lot to take. There's 3,340 calories in a pie. Divided by 8 for 8 slices, and that means a whopping 417 calories per slice. I know it was a lot. It's a lot to take. So this is our featured item today, honey. Their new dealio. What'd you think?
This was so good.
Yes.
It was gooey and cheesy and warm and soft.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are those sexy words or what?
Absolutely. Yeah, I would. The crust, thick, fluffy. Just gave you a feeling of a premium, like a step up from the regular Little C's pie, deluxe, significant, formidable, and it was crunchy too. So it was like fluffy on the inside, crunchy on the outside.
It was crunchy where you wanted it to be and soft where you wanted it to be.
Exactly. And but it wasn't overwhelming, and I think it wasn't overwhelming because they throw the cheese in there. So it's not just a bunch of bread. There's bread, and then there's cheese, so it's hollowed out for the cheese. So it's not overwhelming amount of dough, which I thought really worked for it. Let's get to the stuffed crust part. The cheese in there with pepperoni, honey. Good, bad.
It was very good. I'm not usually a fan of stuffed crust, but
Mm-hmm.
I think again because we ate it so fresh,
Yeah.
it was still really warm.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when you get to the stuffed crust part, it's really hard. You can't like really bite it, and it's not soft. But this was really gooey.
Mm-hmm.
This is soft. It was warm. It broke easily when
Yeah.
you eat. I tore it sometimes, or I just bit into it. And it was the flavor was really good. It seemed like a good quality pizza.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned when we were eating, I was like, this is the best Little Caesars pizza I've ever had.
Yeah.
It tasted like a step above anything they ever usually make.
Yeah. It was really good. But I wasn't a huge fan of the stuffed crust, the cheese. It was soft, it was warm, but it was almost like string cheese.
Well,
like a warm, soft string cheese.
That's what they always do in a stuffed crust, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. So
That's
that's
why
why
I
I don't
like
that's
it.
why I don't like it either. But again, I think because this was still warm and fresh, it wasn't as bad as usual. It still like tore, and it was somewhat like soft and pliable.
Yeah. I thought it was okay. It's something different, and again, there's less dough, so it just makes the dough not as there's not as much carbs, there's not as much bread. It's not just a giant chunk of pizza dough you're biting into, because the cheese is in there. But I thought it was ultimately forgettable. And then you asked, why is the cheese different in the crust different than what's on the pizza?
Yeah,
the pizza
because
pie.
it's always that consistency and shape of a string cheese, and it's terrible. It doesn't work in a pizza.
Right.
I like string cheese pulled out of the fridge on its own.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering why can't they make it more similar to the grate cheese that you find on top of a pizza? They just want that tube shape.
Yeah. Well, the tube is manufactured in Toledo, Ohio, and then shipped to your local Little Caesars.
Why don't they just rim the dough with normal like sprinkle cheese and then like fold it to make the crust and then bake it? Why do they have to put the tube cheese in? Why?
That would take too much time. Who are you, Gordon Ramsay? Fold your dough, you moron! The crust, the Parmesan and butter part, lots of Parmesan cheese sprinkled all over. Big fan of that. Butter on the crust. I mean, it was shiny, so sure, didn't make a huge difference, but the Parmesan was a definite winner in there. My other problem with it was in the stuffed crust that you got the string cheese in there, and they also throw pepperoni in there, which is fine. Again, it's not gonna knock your socks off. It's not gonna blow you away, but because it's encased in the tube, in the crust, in the stuffed crust, and it's not on the pizza, it's not going to get the heat from the oven,
right?
So it's not going to crisp up, and it's not raw pepperoni, but
it's cooked. It's like when you buy a bag of pepperoni from the grocery store and you keep it in your fridge, and then you can eat one straight out of the fridge, and it's like soft and bendy.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, but you like that.
I do like to snack on
you
that.
You buy those bags and you eat pepperoni, and I just look at you like...
It's turkey pepperoni, okay?
What's that?
Lower in fat.
What that? It's not in the refrigerated section sometimes.
You
trust your pepperoni? That's not refrigerated. You trust your meat? That's not refrigerated?
It says refrigerate after opening.
Oh, wow. What if you never open it? Anyways. The pepperoni and crust, it's there. Is it a difference maker? Not for me. 1 to 10, honey, the, what is this called? The pepperoni and cheese stuffed crust.
I'm going to say, this is really difficult.
As she exhales.
7.5.
Agree. I'll give it a 7. Because I think I'm edging away from the 0.5s, because I'm always like, is it a 0.5? Make a decision, man.
No,
choose a number.
I need my halves.
Yeah. Too much ambiguity for me. I would give it a 7.
7.25.
7.14. I would give it a 7. I would give it an 8 if they just improve the cheese and the pepperoni in the stuffed crust. Yes. But that's not going to happen for a giant pizza conglomerate trying to make a pie as quickly and efficiently as possible. But it's good. I enjoyed it. It's a good experience. Much better than the cheeser was terrible. The pepperoni, the pretzel crust that we had a couple months ago,
terrible.
Also terrible. But this was a lot of fun. We enjoyed it.
Is this here for only a limited time?
That I don't know, but I think so. So get to your Little Caesars quickly, please.
Pity.
People.
And oop.
Okay, so that was our Little Caesars review. Stuffed crust, legit, the bomb, excellent dining experience. And then cheeser, whatever, crap. So we're going to get to a bunch of movie reviews. We got 6 total, I think. Army of the Dead, Wrath of Man, Bo Burnham, Inside. Cruella, Conjuring, the first 30 minutes of Cruella, which I watched this morning. Conjuring 1 and 3. And finally, In the Heights, which we'll spend the most time in. Army of the Dead, my review, which is on Netflix, directed by Zack Snyder. Crap.
Lame.
Crap. Lots of zombies, and I stopped watching it because at one point in the film, like I said, 30-ish minutes in, it was a couple hundred zombies tearing apart a human, blood and guts, and just me personally, I don't like looking at zombies. They're disgusting.
I don't like zombie movies.
And Zack Snyder went all in, and super close-ups of zombies, and I don't like looking at things that are unpleasant. So
you like pretty people and pretty images.
I like beautiful people.
And oop.
But
Lord.
What?
Oh Lord.
Oh, I'm sorry. Should I delete that?
No, it's fine. Leave it.
Well, I like looking at pleasant things, and this goes to Army of the Dead. I know you have a fond spot for Mad Max, honey. The movie Mad Max. I do not, because it's a lot of decrepit, unpleasant looking. People who I don't want to look at. They look like they came from a show, Insane Clown Posse show.
Very specifically, it's Mad Max Fury Road that I have that I love, and yes. But I have personal reasons also for that, which could be discussed at a different time in a different pod.
The Dark Crystal. Again,
you don't like the puppets.
Those bird things, I don't want to look at those things for a whole series, 8 episodes
the Dark
long.
Crystal.
When I was a kid, that Dark Crystal was puppets.
They were puppets again. They were just like
but just
modern
like,
puppets.
Ostriches that have been through a radioactive serum or something. I do not like looking at visually unpleasant characters, puppets, actors. While I can say Mad Max Fury Road, Fury, as our darling daughter Luna Marie would pronounce it, I can admit groundbreaking cinema. Stunts, Max Miller, who's like 90 or something now, super old, in his 80s.
Oh gosh, and they're supposedly making another Mad Max movie, and he's directing it. Absolutely.
And God bless him, and fascinating that he can still pull all this stuff together in real practical stunts instead of all the CGI nonsense.
He does include a bit of CGI.
Right.
But it's majority of live action.
Much like Chris Nolan. He tries to be as real in time or whatever, in presence as possible. I could dig it, but I don't need to watch it again. So that's my review of Army of the Dead. Next one. Wrath of Man. You've never heard of this movie. You've never seen this movie. No one cares. But
Jason Statham. Okay, guys.
It's a terrible movie, and I'm not going to even waste my breath.
Bad.
I started reading reviews saying maybe there's some points I could take from here or something I could think of.
And
So what I do as a movie reviewer, a certified movie reviewer, I go to the premieres in Hollywood. No, I don't. But I like to go to Rotten Tomatoes. And I look at the critic consensus, and I go to the Rotten reviews, especially if I hate a movie, because I want to join in the hate. I do
the same thing on Goodreads. When
yeah.
I read a book that I hate, I like to read the 1 and 2 star reviews of a book I hate.
I want to be proven right.
Yes, exactly.
I want to bask in the negativity. Okay, darling son Lennox Albert is out here saying TikTok is toxic. Well, that's humanity. We revel in toxicity and negativity. So I went to Wrath of Man's Rotten Tomatoes page and I started looking at reviews. Well, I just look at their little 1-sentence summary because there's some dingers in there. But I was just like, I'm not wasting any more of my life on this stupid movie.
It was so bad. The dialogue was atrocious.
Dialogue so bad.
So bad to get through.
But the most noteworthy thing, Jason Statham, okay, he's not going to win an Academy Award, but he can do tough guy. He can do tough guy.
He can do tough guy.
He can do badass guy. Like I'm a serious. I kick ass, and I'm a serious dude.
Sure.
With certain light notes here and there. He's in The Expendables. He's in the Fast and Furious. He can do. I'm a badass, but he can wink at the camera.
Yeah.
But in Wrath of Man,
he had zero range, zero nuance. It was
everything.
It's completely one note, beginning to end.
Every line of dialogue was delivered like this. I'm whispering.
There was nothing.
And there's rage behind me.
Literally every line he has in the whole movie.
Reading these lines in the script. But my big thing about this, Statham, okay, he's not great, but he can do what he does. He can kick some ass. He's a bald English 50-year-old man who can kick some ass. But my big thing is about Guy Ritchie. Guy Ritchie was the director of Wrath of Man. But Guy Ritchie came out of the gate with Snatch, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Classic, gangster, criminal element, super cool. Characters full of life and just colorful, bad dudes, but you love them because they have a certain verbal flair. Or Brad Pitt was like a boxing, a Scottish guy or Irish guy, but Guy Ritchie had it all back in the day with those two movies, and then he ventured off. He did Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes. He did the Sherlock Holmes, which is a good movie, and it's big budget, and okay, Guy Ritchie can do low budget indie gangster, kind of like Quentin Tarantino, but across the pond kind of stuff. And then he could do Guy Ritchie, Robert Downey Jr., big budget blockbuster,
yeah,
and he could put it together. But with this, and he did Rock and Rolla and Revolver, which were sort of lower level, old school Guy Ritchie. But with Wrath of Man, terrible writing. And well, you want to get into writing? They're a bunch of guys in an armored security company. They drive armored vans around to transport money. Okay, let's not get into it too much, because it's completely stupid. But like, to show their camaraderie in the beginning, there was a lot of homophobia,
tons of homophobia, tons of machismo, tons of just dudes being I'm a bro. I'm a bad bro. And so I remember looking at you and being like, is that how you and the guys talk at work? Because I obviously knew it wasn't, because it was so over the top and ridiculous.
Yeah. And I was like, no.
Of course not. You talk like normal people, don't you?
I don't talk like this. No one talks like this.
It was so...
And it was
no normal person talks like that.
And it was just like, so you like pictures of naked guys. Like, what? And listen, I'm all for risky comedy, but you have to be smart, and you have to be clever about it, and you have to be funny.
It was really dumbed down.
Yeah.
Definitely. And this was Josh Hartnett's glorious return to cinema.
Right.
He deserved so much better. His entire character was so cringy.
Right. Yeah.
The dialogue was atrocious.
His triumphant return to the silver screen. Scratch the record. Army of the Dead sucked. Wrath of Man sucked. Bo Burnham Inside. You know, I'm only including this because it's been universally praised. Yeah. By everyone.
We watched. What do you think we've watched? 15 minutes.
Sure. 20 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Two sides of the coin here.
Yes.
I was really feeling it. I was laughing. I was totally into it. You had the complete opposite reaction.
Right.
You hated it. You were bored.
Yeah.
So we turned it off, and I think I mean, I probably won't, because just like with Ted Lasso, I loved it. You weren't feeling it, so we watched 3 episodes and we stopped. I've still been like, I want to finish Ted Lasso.
Should we throw Ted Lasso into this review?
But no, but you don't. I would like to finish Inside by Bo Burnham at some point on my own.
Yeah.
Who knows if I ever will.
It's been, again, universally lauded by people.
So you talk about why you hate it, because I really liked it, but we turned it off. So.
Well, you brought up Ted Lasso, honey. Ted Lasso doesn't know if it wants to be a comedy or a emotional drama, and it does neither.
You can be both,
but it doesn't. It doesn't do both, it does neither well.
Give it a chance, man.
Now that we're in it, it's my criticism with Bo Burnham. Bo Burnham is a mediocre musical artist, and he's also a mediocre comedian. And in this special, he combined his mediocrity in comedy and music to, hey, I'm singing everything that I'm... Wow, I feel like I'm in the Heights right now. I'm singing everything, and Jeff Bezos is really rich, and what's up with Instagram, and the white mom's on Instagram, and I'm singing everything, and then and suddenly becomes a high art genius. But to me, bad. He's not gifted musically. He's no JC Chazé, and on the comedy end, he's no Jerry Seinfeld. So but combined, it's nothing. It's just bereft of entertainment. And I'm an old school comedian. Jerry Seinfeld walks out there with a microphone, and he starts talking, and he has to entertain. And we watched Seinfeld's quote-unquote newest 6 months ago Netflix special. So good.
It was good.
Excellent. He still got it. And that to me is comedy.
Well, you know, honey,
singing a lot of comedy jokes, and hey, Instagram is really bad, and what's up with TikTok. It reeks of just nothingness.
You know what, honey?
Morally bankrupt. I didn't mean that, but yes.
All comedy is subjective.
That's true.
I really was enjoying the Bo Burnham stuff and the Ted Lasso stuff. Whatever. Yeah. I really like Seinfeld. So it's just, to each his own.
No.
Everything is subjective.
No. Well,
I'm going to watch it without you, okay?
Bo Burnham's bigger messages, bigger ideas about the internet is bad, and we're all chasing validation and likes. Okay, I get it. But when you set it to music, it just doesn't ring like it takes any sort of thoughts or creativity or genius.
Know.
And listen, we still quote to each other. Ricky Gervais, free love on the free love highway. Music has its place in comedy,
Definitely.
honey. I'm not denying that. But it is a microscopic place. It's 1% of comedy. If you put comedy to music, it's just a gimmick. It's just cheap playing to the crowd. And it's easy laughs, and I'm just not a fan.
I hear you. In my opinion, Ricky Gervais, top tier Ricky Gervais in that episode of The Office. The
Pretty
original
girl
Office.
On the hood of a Cadillac.
That was excellent. We do often quote it to each other.
Broken down on
your
Freeway
opinion.
9.
Your opinion in that it's a cheap way to get your jabs in there, your jokes in there.
Absolutely.
I think it's a very clever way to get. I think it takes a lot of talent to put your jokes into a song that's catchy and good, and where the lyrics flow and the jokes land. So we just have very different opinions on that. I think I don't just think anybody can go out there and put some jokes in a song and come out with something awesome and creative.
Yeah.
But you thought that what he did was just really low rent and easy.
Bush League. I'm putting jokes into my song, and what's up with Instagram? What's up with Instagram? And the moms who post Fashion Friday.
Yeah.
Fashion Friday.
Okay, honey. Okay, honey.
Give me a Netflix special.
No.
I just need to play a keyboard.
Let's move on to the next show.
We have different opinions on Bo Burnham. You better agree with me later. No. Cruella. The first 30 minutes.
I did not
Cruella.
watch this, so take it away, honey.
I watched this by myself. So today is Sunday, and I woke up super early. We went to bed at midnight to watch In the Heights.
Heights?
We watched most of In the Heights.
All but 40 minutes of In the Heights.
I woke up early on the weekends, as I do, and I look at my darling wifey, and I think, oh, my baby doll. And she's not up yet. She's going to want coffee in about 2 hours.
My hair is splayed on my pillow. I'm drooling.
Yes.
Oh, love her.
I know. You sleep like our cat Franklin Blue. Or Lennox Albert. He's got his arm in different positions. I'm sure I sleep the same way. But I watch 30 minutes of Cruella. And my review of the first 30 minutes of Cruella, it's good. It's got something going there. I don't know if it's going to maintain throughout 2 hours. But it's really cool seeing 70s London, very gritty. Emma Stone giving it her all, and then the older lady.
I don't know.
Emma Chamberlain, Emma
Watson.
No, she's on YouTube. Emma Watson.
No, it's not Emma Watson.
No,
it's that very famous, very beloved.
And oop.
Emma Thompson. Emma Thompson.
Yes.
She's given her all. And listen, for the first 30 minutes or so, it's a fun dive. It knows what it's doing. It's something cool. It's not your quote unquote average Disney fare, but I enjoyed it, and I'll continue to watch the second 90 minutes. The rest of the movie after you watch Ted Lasso and the rest of Bo Burnham Inside. Okay. Conjuring 1 and 3. Okay, so darling daughter Luna Marie wants to watch Conjuring 3. The Devil Made Me Do It. We'll just call it Conjuring 3. She mentioned it like a week or two ago. We were like, okay, well, we can make that happen. And what is it? Because we don't watch many horror movies, honey. As a couple, as a family. I would say the last horror movie I really liked was The Ring, which was 20 years ago.
You and I both are not super into horror films. That's not a genre that I enjoy or go to often.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really feel horror movies.
Right. So you don't go to that
No,
genre.
I do not. Neither of us do.
Yeah.
But Luna loves them.
Ah.
She'll watch as many horror flicks she can get her hands on.
Okay. Yeah, I think recently, it definitely has to do with my age, but back in the day I dug them. Excuse me, now not so much. Just because I feel like after The Ring, when Hostel came out, they turned into a torture porn kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was just not into that. Like, how can we kill someone? What?
Yes.
I'm not there.
I saw The Ring in theaters and I really enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
Thought it was good. I think my main thing with horror films is that they are lacking in story and character.
Yeah.
And character development and growth. And those are the two things I really look for in a film and a book.
Yeah.
I like a character-driven story. I like heavy plot. Mm-hmm. Whereas horror films tend to be more like jump scares.
Yeah. Gross you out.
Yeah. They can be fun here and there, rarely, to me, when done well. Yeah. So, I enjoyed The Ring.
Yes.
I did enjoy the first Conjuring, which we're about to talk about.
Mm-hmm. I like The Ring. The new Saw with Chris Rock. I mean, I want to give Chris Rock a chance, but there's been like 6 Saw movies.
I've never seen any of the Saws.
The first one's good, and then the second one, you're just like, okay, again, how can what's the most devilish way we can kill someone? We can slice someone up, we can make them bleed, and I just got over it really quickly. So darling daughter, Luna Marie, wants to watch Conjuring 3. Okay, let's make that happen. And then via Googling and whatever, we find out that the Conjuring cinematic universe has 8 movies in it, which include 3 Annabelle movies, The Nun, which is 1 or 2
What
movies.
is La Rona?
and the Curse of La Llorona.
Lennox keeps talking about this.
I know. I think they just like saying it.
Oh, yeah, probably.
But I have no idea. Actually, Luna Marie asked if we could watch it today. And I was like, maybe, I don't know. Okay, so we were like, okay, the Conjuring universe has 8 movies. And for about 10 seconds, I was like, we're going to watch these 8 movies this weekend.
Yeah, you had a whole schedule. Right. You're like, Tuesday we'll do this, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
and then I was like, you know what? I don't need 8 horror movies.
We decided to stick with anything that just had simply The Conjuring in the title.
Right. So we were like, okay, we're going to watch Conjuring 1. We watched it on a weeknight this week. But then we decided to skip Conjuring number 2.
I'll tell you why.
Yes.
Well, should we talk about Conjuring 1 first, or does it?
No.
Okay. So, we watched Conjuring 1.
Yes.
I think on Wednesday night.
Yeah, okay.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
After we watched that, when we were laying in bed that night, I Googled Conjuring. I read about that movie, the case.
Right. And the demonologist.
I read about Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Because the Conjuring stuff is quote-unquote based on a true story.
It's based on Ed and Lorraine Warren's case files.
Right.
And they were... people like Lorraine she's like I don't know the word. She could like
a demonologist,
like
a ghost whisperer. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Whenever I hear, but just on a side note, whenever I hear Lorraine, I think of Back to the Future. Lorraine, my density has popped me to you. So go ahead. You were reading.
And Ed was like somebody. I think I read that he was like the only person outside of the Catholic Church who was like given the rights to administer. What's it called when you cast a demon out?
Yes.
Exorcisms. Yes. Okay, so the first Conjuring movie was based somewhat in reality.
Okay.
The second Conjuring movie was based on this case of a family in London who had some sort of demon or possession going on in their home.
Mm-hmm. So very similar to the first.
I remember watching a documentary on TV about this case in London like 10 years ago. Okay. No mention of the Warrens. So it turns out, based on my Google search. Yes. Based on what I read on the internet.
You use DuckDuckGo. You don't care about your privacy, honey?
So what happened was Ed Warren showed up at this family home in London uninvited, unannounced. And the family was like, get out of here. We don't want you here. And he was like, And there was
he showed up with a camera crew like the Kardashians.
Stayed for a day, and then the family was like, "Go away!"
Right.
And he was like, "No, I can make money off this. I can do this.
We're gonna make a movie about this in 30 years."
And then the second Conjuring movie, is based off that case.
Okay.
So I was like, I don't want to watch this,
right?
Because I already have like.
It's already very skeptical going in.
Right.
And then the fact that he was there for a day and the family was like, get out.
Yeah.
We'd rather continue having a haunting than your stupid ass in our house. Get out.
So I did not want to watch the second movie, just knowing that.
Yeah.
And then I did not read anything about the third Conjuring movie going into it.
The devil made me do it. Yeah. I agreed to skip Conjuring number 2 just because... based on a cursory preliminary short search on Twitter and Google and DuckDuckGo and Lycos and Excite and InfoSeek and Snap.com. People who have internet access and who type things on the internet said Conjuring 2 was something you could miss.
Yeah.
Was just not of high art. And so I was like, let's skip Conjuring 2. But I didn't think it was important, but I was like, it's important that we watch Conjuring 1 to know what the hell's going on with Conjuring.
I'm glad we watched Conjuring 1 again, because I saw it in the theater when it first came out.
Did you?
12 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Really enjoyed it. It was a good time.
It was good, not great. So Conjuring 1, it's got the early 70s vibe, which I dug. The Office Space guy, Ron Livingston, is in it. Yeah. Which at first I poked you and I was like, is that the Office Space guy? I don't know why I would poke you and whisper to you in our living room, honey. But I was like, that's the Office Space guy. Which is something you don't expect, but that's cool. Got over it. And it had to do with the family who had 4 daughters? 5 daughters. Oh, that's a nice classic Mormon family, honey. And there was a haunting in the house, and then Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson show up as demonologists / ghost whisperers to help him out. Okay, so let's get to the real issue at hand, honey. Do you think Vera Farmiga is pretty? Let's be honest here.
I do.
Okay.
I don't think she's
1 to 10.
I don't think she's gorgeous. I don't think she's classically beautiful.
Yeah.
She's definitely pretty.
Okay.
I enjoy looking at her.
Yeah, I would agree. But she looks a little low rent.
I think they're trying to make her, because this is based off a real life couple, and they're trying to make her look like somebody from 1971.
Right.
And they're trying to match the aesthetic of the real Lorraine Warren.
Yeah.
Who wasn't a movie star.
Right. and she's in the house, and she's in the basement in the dirt.
Yeah,
and
she's
mixing
getting knocked over. She's
Right.
going through hell.
Right. But so Vera Farmiga in The Conjuring 1, not so pretty, but Vera Farmiga, the classically trained actress, you would consider pretty.
I do, yeah.
Okay, I agree. She's got the Jen Aniston thing to me, where sometimes she's pretty and sometimes she's just not so pretty. But and the second issue at hand, honey, Patrick Wilson, is he handsome?
He is handsome.
Absolutely agree.
You said to me,
Yes.
this is what you said verbatim,
Yes.
I am in love with him.
Yes. So I can't believe you would say that on.
I want you to go into this
On the
love.
audio.
I want you to talk about your love for him.
Can't believe you would out me like that on the internet.
He's super handsome.
Are you
so
trying to cancel me?
I want you to own it.
Are you exposing me? Okay,
No.
so Patrick Wilson.
It's nothing to be embarrassed about.
My love affair with Patrick Wilson began in I don't have the year of the movie, but it began with Little Children, with which was a movie with Kate Winslet, which was 2003ish. You know what? I'll just Google it.
Later than that, I believe. 2008?
2006.
Okay.
Okay. And I just thought he was a very good-looking, beautiful man.
Yeah.
And then he was in Watchmen. You didn't see that.
I did not.
I barely watched it, but he in that movie is just classically just a gorgeous man. And I mean, he's not like a JC Chazé from NSYNC, classically handsome, but he's a very good-looking man, and he keeps it together. He's in shape. He's an older man now, but who isn't?
Yeah.
But I just find him.
People on the internet kind of criticize him because he's like somebody you've seen for decades, but you don't know his name.
Yeah.
He's one of those actors.
Oh, I know his name. Okay.
I know you do.
I got my posters on his wall.
Everybody should know his name, but he gets a lot of kind of gets criticism for being like
kind of everyman.
He's like an everyman.
Yeah.
He's
a character actor.
But listen,
yeah.
If you saw him out and about in your daily life, he would strike you.
Oh yeah.
If you saw him at the Save Mart and waiting in line, you couldn't take your eyes off him.
He's beautiful.
He's very handsome.
He's beautiful.
So do not discredit him. Do not downplay him.
Don't sleep on Patrick Wilson,
He's
y'all.
He's very handsome. And you have not seen The Count of Monte Cristo with the guy who played Jesus. What's his name? The Count of Monte Cristo movie from like 2003, 2002.
The Jesus movie where Mel Gibson
What's
directed?
the Mel Gibson Jesus movie?
Let me Google. I know. Passion of the Christ.
Okay, whoever played Jesus, he's the guy that played the Count of Monte Cristo.
Uh-huh.
The main character. And in the Count of Monte Cristo, the love interest, the main female character...
Jim Caviezel.
Yes. Anyway, many people have seen the Count of Monte Cristo. We're going to watch it soon. The main character, woman in that, she's gorgeous.
Monica Bellucci?
No.
Oh, okay.
She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. She's a Polish woman.
Is she prettier than Patrick Wilson, honey?
Well, that's his wife.
Oh, what? Oh.
I know. So, listen.
You're blowing my mind now,
Patrick
man.
Wilson, who you normal folk deem to be just an everyman.
Not me, but yes.
His wife is gorgeous.
Mm.
Okay, so that like elevates his
Absolutely.
That elevates him as well.
Absolutely, my love. Absolutely. Just
Google
like
it.
Your adorableness and cuteness and prettiness that I'm looking at you right now, you elevate me. I go from a 4 to a 4.25. I don't know.
Thanks,
okay.
honey.
So Conjuring 1. I liked it. Like I said, I liked it. I didn't love it. It's good, not great. I liked that it it took time to develop. There were two stories. There was The Haunting, this lovely Mormon family with 5 daughters.
They're not Mormon, but yes.
There's a haunted house going on, and then there's Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, who are both attractive, that you deem. There's 2 separate story plot lines going on, and then obviously they converge later in the movie, but it takes time to build something up. Like, it follows the Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. They're doing tours, and they're doing events and answering questions. And then obviously The Haunting is dealing with the family is dealing with the haunting. But it really it had patience, and then they folded together. And then obviously there has to be some sort of payoff with the haunted house. But that's what I dug.
Yeah, there's good balance, yes, between the 2 storylines, and they do eventually merge.
Yeah.
And it's more of a subtle merging, subtle balance of the 2.
Right. They intertwine. I thought the ending was bad. Spoiler alert for a 2013 movie, but Vera Farmiga is reaching her hand through a hole in the kitchen floor to touch... her name is Carolyn, the mom, right?
And
Cute.
Our son was kind of creeped out by this. Our 9-year-old son,
Yeah.
the whole movie, he was kind of creeped out, and he kept saying, "Why is her name Carolyn? The woman who becomes possessed. Why does her name have to be Carolyn?"
He's never looked at you the same, honey.
I know.
But so the end of the movie, Carolyn is whatever, going crazy, and Patrick Wilson is trying to exercise whatever. But Vera Farmiga has her hand through a hole in the wooden floor in the kitchen, and because she's trying to touch Carolyn's head to channel God, or exorcise the demons, exorcise the demons. I don't know. The ending was dumb, but
yeah.
How do you end those movies?
It was dumb,
yeah.
But I don't think it was okay. Conjuring 3.
Yes.
Here's my problem with Conjuring 3.
Are we moving on?
We're moving on now. This is a segue.
We like Conjuring 1.
We did like Conjuring 1 overall.
And oop.
Okay, so Conjuring 1, we enjoyed. I had problems with the ending, but whatever. Let's move on to Conjuring 3. The devil made me do it. El Diablo! And the main thing about this is it moves from a haunting, so Conjuring 1, there's a haunted house, there's a ghost in the house, blah, 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 to a real-life murder. Like this, some young dude actually killed someone in real life, which kind of ups the ante, in my opinion, and makes the movie a little more irresponsible, also in my opinion.
So the premise is that Ed and Warren are... No.
Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga.
Ed and Lorraine Warren
Yes.
are familiar with this family,
Mm-hmm.
and this guy who's been convicted of murder, they believe that he's been possessed by some sort of demon who made him kill this person.
Yeah.
So they're trying to help his defense get him off with the reasoning that the devil made me do it, quote unquote.
Right.
So he's not responsible for the murder.
Yeah.
So Ed and Lorraine, along with the guys, the convict's girlfriend, they're trying to get to the bottom of this curse that's going on in the area.
Right. Well, first off, we watched it in 2 parts because about an hour in, our darling children decided playing with our cat, Frankie Nicholas, was more entertaining than watching this movie.
And they were right.
Yeah. And they go off to play with Frankie Blue, our cat. And I turned to you because I was just like, whatever. I'm not feeling this. And I turned to you and I was like, do you want to turn this off? And you said, yeah. And so we hit the pause button or the stop button, and then we went to bed. But Luna Marie brought it up again, or Lennox Albert?
No, I think Luna the next day was like, can we finish watching The Conjuring?
Right, and we were just like, okay, if you want to torture
sure.
if you want to torture this family, we'll try it. We'll give it another go. So we watched it in 2 parts over 2 nights. Go ahead. I'm sorry, honey, to interrupt you.
Okay, so in my opinion, the difference between this Conjuring movie and the first was that the first was centered around the case with bits of Ed and Lorraine thrown in. Mm-hmm. This seemed like more focused on Ed and Lorraine and their relationship.
Right.
And I got the impression that the actual case itself didn't have enough based in reality for the filmmakers to make a movie around. So they had to throw in all these like make-believe, not true, not based in reality experiences from the Warrens to fill it, to buffer it. So it ended up being, the focus of the film was not the court case of the man convicted of murder.
Right.
The focus was a love story between Ed and Lorraine.
Right.
Which felt very fictional.
Yeah.
And very much not based in the horror and the demonology.
And who cares?
Who cares? It was kind of cheesy.
Yeah. Well, would you have preferred if they went the court case route? If they did
I don't think they had enough there because, as I said, I knew nothing about it going in. At the end of the film, it gives like, at the end of a film, it gives like films that are based in like, this is based on reality.
Yeah.
It will give you some dialogue, like some printed words on the screen that tell you like, this is what happened. This is what happened.
This is what, yeah.
So it turns out the guy they were trying to prove innocent based on he was possessed by a demon, he was found guilty of manslaughter. He still went to prison for 5 years.
Yeah.
So they did not succeed in getting him found innocent. They didn't, 5 years for killing somebody, that's a short term. So I guess finding the guy guilty of manslaughter is somewhat of a victory.
Yeah.
So I think like the filmmakers knew, well, he was still found guilty.
Right.
He still served time in prison. So what can we make this film about? We got to focus on Ed and Lorraine. And so I think everything around Ed and Lorraine and the woman who, this woman who had cursed.
The evil woman who was in a basement or something.
Who was responsible for this entire curse.
Yeah.
They had to focus on that. And so much of that I just knew it wasn't real.
Yeah.
And, okay, so what if it wasn't real? Okay, it also wasn't very compelling or entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah. It was.
So the film just lost me. I wasn't emotionally invested in it.
Yeah. Lorraine, my density has brought me to you. Absolutely agree. We watched this over 2 nights, and the second night, I had no clue what was going on, and I didn't care. I was like, I want to make it to the end of this stupid movie. It started off, the Conjuring 1, like I said, there's patience, there's a build-up, there's story, there's characters, but Conjuring 3, right away, there's just blood and guts and possession and devil and scary sounds, and I was like, okay, this is the beginning of the movie. Where's it gonna go from here? And where it went from there was just not much compelling, just a bunch of story where you were just like, okay, this is the story, this is this is why this is happening, I guess. Zero build-up. I thought the effects, they were okay, but they still came off as kind of chintzy or amateur.
It seemed very cheap. It seemed like lower quality production than the original Conjuring, which came out about 12 years ago.
Yeah, well, the first two were directed by James Wan, which is similar to Quinoa. But then this third one is directed by, I don't have his name, it doesn't matter. Okay. So change of director. But yeah, there was definitely a different cinematography tone, just artistic approach, which I didn't really dig. Patrick Wilson, okay, so the first Conjuring came out in 2013, and it's 2021, so it's been 8 years. And listen, I stick with my man, okay? I'm there.
You're loyal.
I'm a ride or die girl.
I don't blame Patrick Wilson for looking so much worse. Vera Farmiga looks worse. I think it's the difference of the first one was set in 1971. This one takes place in 1981. Yeah. So they're trying to match like the aesthetic. Yeah. And like real life footage of the couple from 1981. Yeah. But both of the actors looked terrible. Yeah. But I don't think that's what they look like in real life. I don't think that's their fault. I think it's the artistic direction.
Patrick Wilson looked like the bastard love child of Bob Odenkirk and Will Arnett, with a little Norm Macdonald thrown in there.
That is so true.
He was just odd to look at, borderline disturbing. And you talked about how it focuses on Patrick and Vera. They become the main stars of the characters, and the movie goes to their house because there's stuff going on there. There's super scary stuff going on in their house. And do you know what the scariest thing in this movie was? Their wallpaper, honey.
Yes!
My goodness.
Oh my god, that 1981 decor was atrocious.
How can you even film a movie, and how can you live like that? I don't blame the ghosts for haunting your stupid house with that disgusting wallpaper.
It was bad.
I mentioned earlier, so the first one is a haunting. Hey, we're a family. We're a bunch of daughters. We're a bunch of nice Mormons in Provo, Utah. And then in the third one, it's a young man, Arnie, who killed someone. I just thought it was much more unsympathetic. Like, a family dealing with a haunted house, okay, I can get behind that. But this young guy killed someone. And we had a conversation with the darling son Lennox Albert, and we were just like, well, so he was like, well, do people say the devil made me do it, or does the devil make it?
Yeah, he was wondering, is this a real thing? Like, do people really kill people and then try to claim that it wasn't them, they were possessed?
And I said, well, yeah, I mean, people just say things like, oh, I'm innocent because the devil made me do it. And then there's also just nut jobs who hear voices and hear things. And because we love the crime killer or serial killer crime documentaries on Netflix. And they're hearing all sorts of nonsense in their brains that tell them to do terrifying things. So going from family to just this young guy who you don't have much invested in, you don't really care about killing someone. You're just like, okay, I'm not really here for it. His name Arnie. Like, that bothered me for some reason.
That was his real name.
Well, I realize that, but why did they change it to Clark Griswold? No, but Arnie, I think, when I hear Arnie, I think of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh.
Because his nickname is Arnie.
I think of Rob, Arnie, and Don.
Rob, Arnie, and anybody, honey. Wait, Rob,
anybody and Don.
Oh, dear. Why did they fire that nice young man?
Did they fire him or did he leave?
Oh, my God. He was fired. Or I think of, I realize his name is Arnie, but I think Armie Hammer. Okay,
right,
the handsome guy who likes to chew bones of women, apparently, allegedly. And by the end, so this young guy Arnie has a girlfriend, and she's like in the middle of all this not extraterrestrial, exorcism and ghosts and devil and blood and killing, and you see this nice young lady who's like, Arnie, come back. It's like,
I love you.
Just, lady, you're young, you're cute, you got your whole life ahead of you. Find a different man.
I know. And then in like the postscript when it was talking about what happened, they got married while he was in prison. Right. In real life, and they're still married to this day, it said. My God. But, okay.
It was meant to be.
But did you see the footage? Like, the real life Arnie, not nearly as cute as the Arnie in the movie.
Yeah. Okay. The movie Arnie was sort of a Tom Holland.
Yeah, he was cute.
Real life Arnie, is that why Rob fired him? Just kidding.
No. They're both ugly.
And so I will give you this one line from Rotten Tomatoes from a critic. His review of Conjuring 3. The devil made me do it. His one sentence that they pulled. I'm sure their bank accounts and not the devil made them do it.
Exactly. And this is kind of what has tainted my whole view of the Conjuring universe. Mm-hmm. I understand that movies based on a real event, you have to like take that with a grain of salt. Yeah. But I personally prefer that movies based on a real true event or a real person take the majority, more than 50% based
I was about to say, give me a percent. So
more than 50% based
51, 60, 75, 80.
Okay. Preferably more than 60% based in reality.
Now we're getting somewhere.
So if something is not based that much in reality, I'm disappointed. I don't even want to see it. I'd rather just read a historical document about it.
Or see something that's 100%.
If you're going to give me a fictional thing, don't base it in reality. Right. Make up a fictional queen from the past. Make up a fictional historical figure. Right. Okay.
Where's Freddy Krueger when you need him?
I don't need a movie about Queen Elizabeth that is 1% reality and 99% fiction. Just make up a fake historical queen to make your movie about, or a fake kingdom.
Right. And then you got artistic freedom. You can go hog wild. You don't need to, quote unquote, base it in 0.01% quote fact or truth or whatever. Yeah. Conjuring 3, bleh. Conjuring 1,
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to In the Heights.
Yes.
This is just released from Lin-Manuel Miranda. Right away, a man named Lin, honey. I'm not there for it. And this is from the Wikipedia. In the Heights is a 2021 American musical drama film based on the stage musical of the same name by Lin-Manuel Miranda. So it's a movie now, and it was a play for however many years it's been a play.
Do you have? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Do you have there what year the film? The stage musical was released?
I do not, but I can get it.
I'm very interested in that.
And oop.
First produced in 2005 in Waterford.
Oh, okay, 2005.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's very old, and it just recently.
That's not very old. Well, 16 years old.
Yes.
But as we were watching it, I kept thinking, when was this released? Because it's a lot of topical, political, topics. Like that's the entire thing.
Yeah, they did make reference to like Bilbo Baggins or Gollum or Lord of the Rings.
I think the film somewhat updated some cultural references,
Yeah.
but the overall political, cultural, like things that were going on, I think. Well, now that I know it was released in 2005, relevant then. I think also relevant now, but
probably written in 2003, 2000.
Probably, yeah. It takes time for these things to come to fruition on stage.
Yeah, the movie directed by John M. Chu, stars Anthony Ramos, Corey Hawkins, who played Dr. Dre in Straight Outta Compton, and I will forever know him as the young Dr. Dre, even though he was in the new Jumanji movies. But I continually refer to him as Dr. Dre in our real life conversations, honey. As you know,
he played Benny in the film.
Yeah,
he was very good.
Excellent.
Very good singing, good like stage presence.
Yeah.
Very handsome, charismatic.
Oh yeah.
You referred to him as Dr. Dre the whole time, so
Yeah.
I thought he was Dr. Dre's son,
Right.
Because I've never seen
Straight
Straight Outta Compton. So
Well,
the whole time I didn't know what you were talking about.
It's funny you say that because in Straight Outta Compton, actually one of the young NWA members is played by Ice Cube's son.
Yeah, Ice Cube's son. I knew that.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't seen it, I knew that. So I just assumed this was his son.
Yeah. In the Heights follows the story of a corner in the Washington Heights neighborhood of Upper Manhattan. Oh, I thought it was the Bronx in New York City, where each member of the community pursues their dreams of a better life. Now let's get before we watch this, we just watched this on our television. We saw the trailer a few weeks ago, a month ago.
No, it was a couple months ago. We went to see Godzilla versus King Kong in theaters.
Late May.
This was a trailer we saw.
Okay.
This is the first time I had seen the trailer.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
I looked at you and I was like, I want to see that. And you looked at me and you were like, nah.
Yeah. Well, our MO, our modus operandi, our coda is when we go to the movies and they play, it seems like 9 freaking trailers before the stupid movie nowadays. But after each trailer, what we do is we turn to each other and we give a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Yep.
And when In the Heights played, you gave a thumbs up.
I gave
a big thumbs up.
I gave
two thumbs down.
I gave 2 thumbs up. You gave 2 thumbs down.
It's like Siskel and Ebert out here. And so, but I hear the buzz, honey, on Twitter and various reviews.
Yeah.
And
I've been seeing across the board positive reviews.
Yeah.
So much hype for this movie.
Yeah. Much love and praise and like Pop Culture Happy Hour, which is a podcast. Like 2 of the women were like, I was crying when I watched it, and I'm about to cry right now. And I'm like, all right. Listen, I'm a real man, honey. I'm a red-blooded American heterosexual man. But I'm not above musicals. Like, I don't look at musicals and think, oh, that's some sissy crap. Like, we watched Newsies.
Yeah?
You forced our family to watch Newsies about a month or two ago, but I dug it.
You watched Newsies with us. Mm-hmm. You've watched the Les Mis 25th anniversary video with us.
Absolutely.
And
Nick Jonas,
you're
hello.
into it.
Yeah.
I know. You're there for it.
Yeah. Newsies, Greatest Showman, a huge hit in the Nicholas Garcia Fisher household of that which we reside. Mary Poppins, the old school, the new one we saw in theaters.
Oh, that was terrible.
Lin-Manuel Miranda was in that also.
Horrible.
But I love the old school Mary Poppins, and need I say, Descendants 2, honey.
Descendants 2.
Have you ever heard of a song called Chillin' Like a Villain, honey?
So good.
When we were first dating, and you would put that CD, that compact disc on in your Cadillac, when you owned that Cadillac, and Chillin' Like a Villain came on, I used to be like, what the heck is this? Like, because it's going from no children existence to Descendants to Chillin' Like a Villain, and it's super cheesy, but very quickly I ended up loving that song. I still love that song. Love that soundtrack.
I still maintain that Chillin' Like a Villain from Descendants 2 is one of the greatest songs ever written.
I wouldn't go that far.
I would. I do.
It's a wonderful song. It's an excellent song, and we still play it to this day. Okay, so that's the precursor. So within the past week or two, I was like, let's watch In the Heights, and it's on something HBO Max. I don't know where it is, but we watched it. Okay, so
here's how it went down.
Yes.
Last night, for Saturday night.
Yes.
The evening is winding down.
Right.
The lights are getting low within our household.
Right. We're telling Lennox to not run like a Naruto with his hands behind his back, 20 feet from the bedroom to Frankie Blue's catio.
I brushed my teeth. I'm getting my jammies on. Mm-hmm. I believe that we are shortly going to bed.
Right. You were lying
I was laying
on our
in bed.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, here's my husband, Vince Nicholas, in the living room.
Yeah.
And he's turning on In the Heights on our television.
And
So I'm in bed, laying down, chilling. You're in the front room. I hear In the Heights start to play. I recognize it.
I'm hanging out with Lennox. Lennox is on his Switch on our couch, and I'm kind of poking around the Amazon Fire.
We were planning on watching this the following day in full. And it's like 10 p.m. right now.
Yeah.
So I hear you start to play it.
We turn in early. We're country folk. We like to go to bed early, and I like to wake up early, as I talked about previously. 3
minutes go by, 5 minutes go by, 10 minutes go by.
You hear what's going on,
I hear it out there. And you're like, this is really good.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
So finally I walk out and I was like, okay, turn this off or start it over because I've been wanting to see this movie.
You were stomping your feet on the ground at the same time.
I've been wanting to watch this movie for months.
Yeah.
So I don't want to miss a moment of it. So you better start it over.
Yeah.
And you did. You started over and then we proceeded to watch nearly 2 hours of it that night.
It's 2 hours and 20 minutes, which is too long. We'll get to that. But yeah, I was just like, well, okay, so let's dive into it. The opening, pretty quickly, within a minute or two, it gets into the first big shebang, the first big number, the first big song. And it's something to behold.
Yeah, you're hooked.
Exactly. There's lots of singing, there's dancing, there's choreography, there's editing, there's film work. And when I talk about singing and music and song, there's all sorts of genres within the same song, and it flows so smoothly and effortlessly. And the young man who
the character's name is Uznavi.
Yes.
Main character. Incredible lyrics.
Presence,
so much charisma, so much stage, and the lyrics to the song are so engaging. He's presenting to you his daily life here in Washington Heights.
In the Heights.
He's a struggling man. He owns a bodega, but he's so charming.
Yeah.
The lyrics are so clever.
Right.
You just you can't stop watching. And in addition to showing Uznavi's day-to-day life, it shows tons of different families and people and existences
Yeah.
in this community.
Yeah, there's so,
it's like, we got to pay the bills. We're struggling. We're going to work.
It shows a guy at the dinner table looking at bills, and then it cuts quickly to 2 seconds of a guy cooking, and then it cuts over to a guy with a blowtorch, and then it cuts over to a barber shop. And this is all like 2 seconds each. And I thought, wow, just... Because it takes a lot to put a shot like that together, and you're gonna use 2 to 3 seconds of it in your final film. So just the production and the time it took, I was blown away.
It's great lyrics, and then it's great filmmaking in the sense that the editing is really clever.
Yeah.
The visuals are very like snap, snap, snap.
So much fun,
and like you can relate to it. You're like, yeah, I know this day-to-day struggle of paying bills, but. Yeah. Also, just it's like a fun, like you're in this community. It's very beautiful. It's very, even though everyone is struggling, and it's like you can tell everybody's like hard workers, but it's like it's very colorful and vibrant. Yeah, and you're like you want to see what happens in this little community in this world.
Absolutely, and again, this is the first song within a couple minutes, and the song is. And I say song, loose definition of song, because there's all sorts of beats and genres. And like I said, it just switches from one to the next, singing. And then another guy's rapping. And there's all sorts of characters who have super small parts. And then there's the chorus for singing the big lines, and it's just like, wow, this is really cool. Like, I can appreciate that on a production level, on a talent level. Mm-hmm. Lin-Manuel Miranda writing
the choreography,
arranging it, yes,
yeah. And like after we watched the entire film, we went back and watched this first 10 minutes of the movie because we enjoyed it so much, and we were like, oh, there's so and so, there's so and so. So it introduced. We didn't realize it at the first time we saw it, but it was introducing everyone within that first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And so it's like really good filmmaking.
Just tons of joy and smiles, and you're like, this is a lot of talented people who put a lot of time and effort into this, rehearsing. I can imagine like again, we're still on the opening number, but it goes into Manhattan or whatever, Washington Heights, the city block. It looks like 100 people. There's probably 50 people. But if like person number 48 over there misses a handstand or whatever, or like a dance movie, okay, let's roll it back. Let's all do a take number 63. I don't know, but I love that stuff, honey. You know I'm a sucker for choreography.
Yes,
group choreography. I mean, I'm impressed when 5 people in sync. It's gonna be me. I want you back. We watch that video constantly. I'm still impressed that they put it together with their hands waving and their saggy black jeans. Their all their moves. I can't get enough of that stuff. So when you make it to a scale on a New York City street with like 50 to 100 people doing the same thing in unison in time. Just blows me away, and I'm a sucker for that. I can't get enough of that. I love that stuff.
Yeah, it was excellent.
Yeah, and again, this is the first song.
This is the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. Well, the song is about 10 minutes long, and Dr. Dre comes in, and he's got his own thing, and then another character comes in, and this is all in the little bodega, the liquor store. And the beauty parlor ladies come in. They got a couple lines, and it's just so amazing. Just the amount of talent and singing. And
it sets up a lot. It sets up a lot of characters, a lot of the dynamic of the neighborhood, and it's very snappy dialogue. It's so clever.
Yeah.
So 10 minutes pass, and we have already we know it's established. What is this community? What is this neighborhood? Who are the main players?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Very, very fun.
Okay, let's get to the real issue at hand, honey. Is the male lead, Anthony Ramos, good looking? What do you think?
I think he is very cute.
Yes.
In a cutesy, adorable way. He's not your classically handsome.
Right.
He's not Antonio Banderas. But he's
not Matthew LeBlanc.
You know what, he had a lot of charisma.
Absolutely.
He was adorable. I found myself really I was happy whenever he had a scene and he was on the screen.
Yeah. He was likable.
I really liked him.
Irresistible. Just his charm, and he has that it factor, as they say.
He's very. I really liked. I don't know. He just has a likability.
Yeah. And there's lots of close-ups of him. He's a star of the movie. And he's got like freckles on his face. But I found that absolutely
so
endearing.
Cute. Yeah, so cute.
Super cute. So cute. Just loved him. And he was in Hamilton.
As what?
I don't know.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. Okay.
Yeah. He was in Hamilton. I think it was a small part. But everything compared to Lin-Manuel Miranda was a small part. But just perfect casting choice. And then, like I said, Corey Hawkins as Dr. Dre or Benny.
His character was Benny.
Yes.
Oh, I love this guy.
He was so
good.
Good. Like, okay, he was in Straight Outta Compton, then he did the Jumanji films. You're like, okay, well, he's an actor, whatever, but he really shined in this movie. Jimmy Smits.
I love Jimmy Smits.
Like, I remember Jimmy Smits, kids in the 80s, he was in a television show called LA Law, but then he was in the prequels, the Star Wars prequels.
I think I was first exposed to him in...
Oop.
I was first exposed to Jimmy Smits in Sons of Anarchy. Which he had a recurring role for like 3 seasons, maybe more.
Okay.
Oh. And so I loved him in that.
Yeah.
And he was great in this.
He's in here as one of the girls' dads, and he's hamming it up. He's singing. He's not a great singer. I mean, he's not Josh Groban, but he's giving it his all.
He did really good.
Yeah, I absolutely enjoyed him.
Totally.
So, I want to go quickly back to the first number, the 10-minute number. The part where the kid, the young man, he works in a bodega, and they're singing it up and dancing. But there's a part where another character is throwing him cans, like to put like cans of beans or whatever to put on the shelves in the bodega.
Yeah.
And so this character is throwing him cans. He's catching the cans. This is all in a confined space. It's very tight. Bodega's in New York City. So he's catching cans. He's lip syncing to this song. And I was just like, this is so cool. How many takes did this take? I think of Pride and Prejudice, where there's all this fancy dialogue and choreography going. And I can't get enough of effort and time.
Really good filmmaking.
And talent.
Yeah, definitely.
That was put into this.
Very clever filmmaking.
Yes.
Very well done.
Yes. Okay, so let's get to, further on. I thought the girls... Now, there's 2 main guys, Dr. Dre and Anthony Ramos.
His name is Benny.
Benny.
Well, I don't know his real name.
That's Andre Young. That's Dr. Dre's real name, honey.
Benny and Uznave. That were the characters.
And then there's 2 girls who were the leads. I thought the girls were, well, to be perfectly blunt, much better singers. Super talented.
Yes.
The dark-haired one shows up early in this 10-minute number, and she starts singing here just like, wow. Anthony Ramos, Dr. Dre, I think, well, Dr. Dre, I think, is more a quote-unquote better singer than Anthony Ramos. But the girls, much more classically talented as a trainer. Look, they're all super talented. They all have that it factor.
I think I mentioned this to you, though.
Yes.
The female songs that they were given to sing are way more difficult and challenging than the lines and songs the boys were given.
Yeah.
So I think it's hard to compare, because the girls had these really they were belting.
They were belt it out.
The guys had a lot of
mostly rapping.
They were rapping. They were harmonizing, and they were excellent. The guys were so good. The girls were excellent too. But I think it was kind of a different showcase, and it's hard to compare.
Absolutely. So next big number that I liked was the pool scene. And just tons of dancing and choreography, and you put it in water, it just makes it more difficult.
It showed some underwater swimming scenes,
and
the songs were kind of because they were above the water.
Muffled, yeah.
Muffled. They were muffled,
underwater, yeah.
But it showed some like underwater choreography. It was really cool.
It was so cool.
It was a hot day in the summertime.
It reminded me of Glee. And
Yeah.
the Rihanna song.
It did.
Where there's a whole pool deal going on.
Yeah.
And again, it just, these cast members just switching vocals and styles and genres, just completely fluid and smooth and seamless. I couldn't get enough of it, and it was like it was like a small scale because it's on this block or this super tight neighborhood, Washington Heights, a small hood in Manhattan, but so it was small scale, but at the same time it was big scale because you got 100 people doing these same dance moves. In one scene where like they start, I don't know if this was CGI or not, but they start unfurling like large
that was definitely CGI
colored curtains. Or
the character who plays Vanessa is like dreaming about her life outside of this hair salon where she works, so she goes out in the streets. That was beautiful. She was like walking on the streets, running up the streets, and there were these colorful furls of fabric falling down
from the buildings.
That was CGI, but it was gorgeous.
It was beautiful.
You could feel like her passion and her desire. If anyone has ever been young and yearned to escape their youth and wherever they grew up from.
I used to be young, honey. Yeah, that particular scene reminded me of Taylor Swift. Just it's in a city, but there's tons of visual stuff and colors, and it's just a marvel for the eyes. So the movie Dominican Republic plays big, and you really get the sense of family and culture and food and neighborhood and community. It really rings through. At its best, this movie is when they're singing and dancing.
Totally. The musical numbers were breathtaking. They were visually stunning. They evoked emotion. I think you and I both got pretty emotional with a few of the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was excellent.
At the end, I got really choked up. So then the middle comes. So after the 10-minute soiree and then the pool scene, then they gotta throw some story in there, and that's when it really sags for me. The movie. It was just the daddy, like Jimmy Smits, is upset that his daughter wants to drop out of college, and it turns out she's lying about college being difficult, and there was a lot of story going on that I was not feeling. And the runtime is 2 hours and 20 minutes. It did not need to be 2 hours and 20 minutes.
No movie needs to be 2 hours and 20 minutes.
No movie, except for maybe Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings and Titanic. That's it.
Outside of that, you can chop it in the editing room, man. So the middle of the movie, I was just like, wow. It started off with a bang, with the 10-minute, like, huge musical number. Like a party rock in the house tonight video, honey, if you know what I'm saying. On the street, lots of people dancing, digging the music, and then they throw all this story and dialogue, and you're just like, oh, I'm not feeling this. You talk about, but in the middle there was a subway scene. The abuelita, which means grandma in Spanish, the abuela has her own number. And they have it in the subway. What is it called? Venue?
The subway, yeah, like
Metropolitan Transit. But I thought because it's closed quarters, it's not out on a city street. So I thought that was really cool that they had this dancing and the lighting was cool, and it's in a tight area. So I thought that was something. But then it ends with like a bunch of candles. They were all holding candles. Turns out the abuelita, rest in power, she goes away, and they all moved up candles, like paying some tribute. So I was like, oh, that's just cheesy. It rubs me the wrong way. Another thing that I didn't really dig was the DACA, the Dreamer storyline. It wasn't a huge thing, but it was there, and it was like, okay, Lin-Manuel, I get you. And he's on Twitter retweeting BLM stuff. Okay, I get you. But I don't really need this in my entertainment. Lin-Manuel. Yeah. But back to the pool thing. This thought, the pool thing reminded me of the Justin Bieber Beauty and the Beat movie. There's another scene in a discoteca that reminded me of Grease. Just the dancing and whatnot. But overall, like, I kept thinking that this reminded me of The Greatest Showman, which we loved.
Yeah.
Good music. Excellent music. I would say Greatest Showman, there's 3 to 4 good songs.
Excellent. And beautiful, like visually beautiful.
In the Heights, there's 4 to 5 really good songs. But the storyline, you're just kind of, can we skip to the next great song? The
songs are where the emotion really hits you and where the stories really are propelled.
Yeah. It's where the majority of the entertainment nut is. And going back to The Greatest Showman, you bought the CD, honey.
I did.
You bought the compact disc from Target, I think. And as a married couple, as a family, we still watch The Greatest Showman. Now, these are the rehearsals. But we still watch their rehearsals of This Is Us, This Is Me.
The songs,
This Is Me.
They're excellent. The songs cannot be beat.
They're excellent, and you can feel the love from the cast. Yes.
Interesting fact.
Yes.
The same 2 people who were the casting directors on In the Heights were the casting directors for The Greatest Showman.
OMG, girl.
Mm-hmm.
That just blew my mind. Wow. You know what? That's interesting.
Interesting, huh?
Wow. You know what? That's interesting. That's actually really cool, and it makes a lot of sense. But we still watch The Greatest Showman. This Is Me, and these are the rehearsals. But you get the sense from the cast that there was love right from the beginning, chemistry, and it all came together. And from now on, also a great. Again, these are the rehearsal videos.
Yeah.
So. Should we buy the CD of In the Heights, honey?
Well, I kind of think so. There are at least 4 songs I would love to listen to again.
Yeah, absolutely. Or we should play the YouTubes. Maybe there's the rehearsals videos, just like Greatest Showman. At 2 hours and 20 minutes, though, it was too long. There's too much story in the middle, and there's a couple songs that just didn't hit, that just were not good, that were sung by older people.
Okay, Lin-Manuel Miranda singing about his shaved ice company versus the ice cream guy. Cut. Did he shoehorn that in because he wanted some more screen time?
Yes. He was
okay, and I struggle with the song with the abuela singing.
Right.
Because it's really nice to see. Visually,
it's stunning.
It's stunning. And I enjoyed her story of her coming to America as a child.
Yeah.
And now 60 years have passed and she's still here.
Yeah.
Still struggling. Still trying to find out, what is her American dream.
Right. Still trying to get her dish towels made.
I was so impressed. She's an older woman. Her voice was stunning.
Yeah.
I was like, this woman has got it.
You know what? She reminded me of a Hispanic Susan Boyle. But back to you, honey. Go ahead.
So part of me is this could have been cut to save the cohesiveness of the story. Yes. But part of me was this is really beautiful to see. This is great.
Yeah.
So I was kind of torn about that. But the Lin-Manuel Miranda, whatever, him with his little shaved ice tray. Ugh.
He's got a rivalry with the ice cream man. Shaved ice versus the ice cream. Oh, it's like Tupac and Biggie out here. The Abuelita. Well, her song, which was visually cool because it was in the subway tunnel, and then there was another song done by a kind of a tertiary character, an older Hispanic woman, whatever. Her song could have been cut too.
Yeah, that could have been cut. The salon owner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those two songs should have been cut, or they should have been given to the younger, more attractive cast members because I like them singing and I like them dancing.
You like pretty people, don't you, honey?
I'm very shallow.
Back to that.
I'm very vapid. But seeing Abuelita sing about her time in the country, okay.
I like the Abuelita because I think that gives like substance and base to what is the community of Washington Heights now. Like she was talking about she was here in like the 1940s as a child.
They called her the mayor or whatever of the hood, the barrio.
I think if you're looking at this story as a if you're not just looking at this as like, oh, well, what are some songs for me to be entertained by, but you're looking at this as like a historical story of like people who actually live in Washington Heights and this community. I think looking back on your grandma, it's important to see like where'd they come from, why did we land here, why is our community here, how did we end up here,
okay, and
what's going on with like the community.
Okay, well,
I think it's important in that regard.
Listen, I haven't produced Hamilton, the Broadway smash hit Hamilton, but if I were to suggest to Lin-Manuel Miranda what to do, I would cut the salon beauty owner her song, and I would trim the dialogue massively to get from 2 hours and 20 minutes to a tight 95.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Completely.
And for reference, Hamilton was 2 hours and 40 minutes long. Let's talk about Hamilton for a second. We tried to get into that.
We tried to watch the whole thing when they debuted like the whole show available for Disney streaming. Plus, the songs are so catchy. Like Luna.
Disagree. Go ahead.
Every once in a while, like every so often, Luna and I, like she'll start singing or I'll start singing a song, and then for like 2 weeks afterwards, she and I will be singing the same Hamilton song to each other. Yeah. So the songs are super catchy.
Do you not do that around me? Am I not around?
I've been doing it today, honey.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
anyway.
I need some bibliographies or references.
I think that production was very successful and it like had very strong songs. Yeah. Definitely.
I remember watching it and just after 20 minutes I was like, I get it. It's hip hop and it's history. It's hip hop merged with history. And you know what? It's like Bo Burnham. It's marginal musical greatness combined with you're throwing some lyrics and you're trying to get the history crowd. So, I'm Benjamin Franklin and I'm inventing lightning with a key on a kite, and I'm on a key and a kite, and I'm on a key, and I got a wig on and I'm wearing tight pants. It was just...
Okay.
We tried to watch it. I gave it 20 minutes. I turned it off.
Well, I agree. Like, I was with you when we tried to, like, sit down and watch the entire production. I think I started to doze off. Yeah. But just, again... It sucked. Yes. Again, like with The Greatest Showman, like, just the songs themselves are very catchy. Yeah. And they can... And if you just listen to the soundtrack, you can keep up with what the show is about. So
for me, the Hamilton, it was just you're turning history into rap. It just seems like a cheesy, chintzy gimmick. I'm not there for it. Was it the Contreras family that was over here?
Yeah,
they were digging it. Yeah. We had it on the TV for whatever reason, and they were like all like enthralled by it. But me, not a fan.
And
So like I said, the movie lost me in the middle, but in the end, it won me back, honey. The second to final number was Dr. Dre and his paramour dancing on the side of buildings, defying the laws of physics, but they were dancing and singing, and I was just like, I am here for this. I'm loving this. This is super entertaining, and I was not going to drink. It's Sunday afternoon. It was about 4 o'clock, but when I saw Dr. Dre and this lovely gal dancing and singing and just a fabulous entertainment marvel, I was like, honey, give me a White Claw. Because I'm here for this and I want to celebrate with this movie, and I started feeling it again after losing me in the sagging middle. So I began drinking. And then the final song, I just thought Anthony Ramos, the lead, he sung it with such emotion. Like, he sung it like he was on the verge of tears. And it's the end of the movie. It's the end of this experience, this piece of entertainment. But I just thought his vocal inflections were so good, and I was so there for it, and it all comes together. You can rewatch it like The Sixth Sense because they kind of throw some stuff in the beginning. And you're like, what's this? But it makes sense in the end. But yeah, the Dr. Dre dancing and singing, and then Anthony Ramos singing in the end, kind of bringing it all home. I couldn't get enough of it. I loved it. It won me back. So I big fan, and I finished the movie with a smile on my face. Glad I watched it. Glad we stuck through it because we paused it. Right? Why did we pause it?
Because it was midnight.
Because it was midnight. That's right. I lost the thread there. Because it was midnight, and it kind of continued on after today. It kind of continued with this isn't, but it really brought it home at the end. And I couldn't get enough of it, and I was a huge fan. And I was not a huge fan of Hamilton, as I said, but this movie had it all together. It bombed at the box office. It only made like $10 million opening weekend. I was hoping it'd be more because I would love to see more of this. I want to see more of this world. But definitely enjoyed it. In the Heights. If you're into musicals and fun and theater and entertainment and sing songs and just a happy, feel-good vibe. And I got emotional at the end of it. I didn't cry because I'm a real man, honey. But I definitely was all up in my feels. And I got a little misty-eyed, kind of how I felt when I watched Soul, the Pixar movie, several months ago. But huge fan of In the Heights, honey. I can't recommend it enough. What would you say?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. 2 hours and 20 minutes. Too long.
Too long, yeah, but very good. Solid film overall.
Yeah. Dug it. Okay. So that was In the Heights. We reviewed so many movies. But Conjuring 3, yeah. In the Heights, bravo. 4 thumbs up. Is that a thing? 'Cause we both have 2 thumbs, honey.
Sure. 4 in total.
Alrighty. That is the end of the program. It's been fun, but not really. Let's all try a little harder next time. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, or don't. Do whatever you want. You're a grown-up. Make your own decisions. Do what's best for your family. Please be sure to use our promo code for LifeLock. We don't have a promo code for LifeLock. Goodbye. I love you. We love you. We hope you have a good day today and tomorrow. And sure, I may have eaten 4,000 calories in pizza and licorice and Ritz crackers and trail mix and mint chocolate chip ice cream with Cool Whip because I saw Luna eating mint chocolate chip ice cream with Cool Whip and Hershey syrup. I skipped the syrup. But I'm still a good person and we're still good people. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. I hope you have a wonderful day/night. Okay, that's the official end of the show, but here's some bonus content for those who follow us on OnlyFans. We don't have an OnlyFans. For all you fans of ASMR or mukbang, or if you're a furry, here is us eating the Lil C's. Enjoy.
Hey Google, turn up YMF 2.
Why? He's loud already.
Hey Google. Okay. Hey Google. Was Stranger Things based off a true story?
No.
On the website republicworld.com, they say, for everyone wondering, is Stranger Things based on a true story? The answer is yes. Do you want a little more context?
Yes. Told you.
For everyone wondering, is Stranger Things based on a true story? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
However, the Duffer Brothers show is not entirely based on a true story and is low-key inspired by real-life events.
Low-key?
Pepperoni.
L-O-W-K-E-Y? Or the Disney character? Low-key.
So it is based off a person who tried to make supernatural humans.
Sure.
Or superhumans.
I don't know. She didn't give us any more information.
Hold on, I'm gonna go get my phone. Sid.
The doughs are really good on this.
So it is based off a true story. Tell me.
Read about it and tell us more.
Mom,
Yeah.
Stranger Things, I'm pretty sure like the devil ordered into the upside down space. But it doesn't like the people trying to make superhumans. No!
Okay.
The government didn't release anything to the public except for that one thing.
So,
And I'm pretty sure they were doing it because of the war.
the stuff about 11 was based on true.
Yeah. They were doing tests on people.
Mm.
And she was subject to, and I'm pretty sure that subject 11, like test subject 11 was the one that actually worked, but then something went wrong and it hasn't been released to the public.
Mm.
So season 1 is based off a true story. Season 2 and 3 is not.
Get that cat out of here.
So yeah, season 1, true story. Season 2 and 3, fake.
Got you.
Okay. You want some
I made
pizza?
milkshake.
How's it?
No, but I'll take your water.
It's poison.
Look at this milkshake.
Doesn't look like it's poison.
That's what they want you to see.
Yummy. I ate too much. How do you like this one?
Alright,
This one's better, shockingly. Okay, nap time. What are you doing?
I'm stress free, my milkshake.
Did he smell your milkshake?
You insulted him.
What did he get mad at us yesterday for? Do you remember?
This is me when Frank is upset.
Plates on the stove.
Say what now?
That's me when Frank is upset. I'd be like, I want some of my phone. I ain't talking back. No, why? I got my best friend. That's me when Frank is upset.
Okay.
Y'all never heard a single thing I said.
I heard everything you just said. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
I said okay.
Locked out.
Frankie heard that. He was listening.
What you looking at?
Who are you talking to?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm looking at you dance.
Who's watching me dance?
Yeah. I don't feel good.
What?
Nothing?
I ate too much pizza.
Y'all always say nothing.
Vince always says that. Lennox, what are the lyrics to that song you sing to Frankie? That song you were just singing. Say the words to me.
I'm watching my phone.
Wait, you're watching your what?
Watching Minecraft.
No,
Babe, did you put the sticker back on?
I just, yeah.
really? Fool. Why'd you put the t-shirt back on?
I don't know.
That's not an answer.
I'd be like, I'm washing my tone.
I'm watching my tone.
No, you have to say it in a better.
No, I'm trying to just. Can I pick your booger?
No,
Please. I'm watching my tone.
No. I'm talking back. No, why? Cause I'm gonna get thrown. No.
I'm gonna get thrown.
Cause I'm gonna get thrown.
What's get thrown?
No.
THROWN.
No. I'm talking back. No, why? Cause I'm gonna get thrown. No. Now do you get it?
No.
Is the pot on?
Yes.
The recording?
Can I kiss you?
No.
Mhm. Give your mother a kiss.
Hug.
Mwah.
Steak pizza.
Do you want it? Do you want a piece?
Later.
Later.
The peach thing. Eat that peach.
What is that?
I'm gonna eat that peach. Talking about Frankie.
That's bizarre.
Episode 2 of Loki coming out.
Why do you always talk about eating Frankie?
Cause I wanna eat it.
Loki comes out, I think, Wednesday. I think it's every Wednesday, son.
Mm-hmm.
What? You ate your milkshake?
Yeah.
You washed the dishes?
The rinse
Your
out.
dishes. Okay.
They're not dried yet, but they're rinse.
All right, girl. See you never. Are we gonna lay on the floor for a few hours?
Sure.
For a few minutes. I can't believe how good that was. This was, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it, dude. Best Little Caesars ever.
Alright, so what's the tea?
Hi.
Nothing?